I hope that you are well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 4 English lesson on capitalization. And before we start with our lesson, we're going to log into aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language art, grade 4. And then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of capitalization. All right, so once we have selected the subject of capitalization, we said our chapter is capitalization, our subject is English, which is language arts, grade 4. And the lessons that we are going to be focusing on under the chapter of capitalization is capitalizing the names of people and pets and titles of respect. We're going to be capitalizing days, months, and holidays. And we're going to be capitalizing the names of places and geographical features. So that is going to be our focus lessons today under the chapter of capitalization. And we are doing our tutorial lessons on aplusstudents.ca. All right, so now we're going to start. So we capitalize names of people and pets, right? So now when it comes to capitalization, remember we said when it comes to capitalization, we of course start by, if it's a sentence, when we are writing, we of course capitalize the first word of that sentence, right? And then also when we capitalize, we always capitalize names of people as well as places. So we capitalize names of people and names of pets, right? So if you have a pet, whether you have a dog, whether you have a cat, whether you have a rabbit, chameleon, whichever pet, even if you have a snake as a pet, right? You need to capitalize the names of your pet. So firstly, we capitalize names of people. For example, Laura, or your own name, right? Example, my name, Nadine. So you capitalize your own name. You also capitalize your surname, right? And so if they say names of people, then names mean your name as well as your surname. So names of people means that your name as well as your first name as well as your second name, and if you have a third name plus your surname, right? So you need to capitalize that. So I cannot decide to write my name with lower cases. That first letter of my name needs to be capitalized. So we also capitalize names of pets. Like for example, Sparky. Or maybe your name of the pet is Spotty, right? For example, my name of my pet is Cinnamon, right? So we need to capitalize the name of your pet. So this is the names of our pet. But if you're going to say my dog, right, then the word dog needs to be in lowercase. If you're going to say my cat, then cat needs to be in lowercase. But if you're going to specifically give us the name of your dog, for example, either Spotty or whoever, then we need to capitalize it. All right, so that is us capitalizing names of people as well as pets, right? And like I say, if you are just going to say my dog, then dog needs to be in lower cases, needs to be written with small letters. But the name of your dog, for example, Rex, needs to be capitalized. Then we also capitalize people's initials. So, for example, if you've got two names, right? If you have two names, then it means that if you write the initials down, and then it is like you are only writing the first letters of your two names. Like, for example, I have two names, right? So my first name is Nadine, then I have a second name. So, which means that my initials will be NC and then my surname, right? So N, which is my first name, C is my second name, and then my surname. And if we look at an example over here, right? J.K. Rowling. This is his first name, or the first letter of his first name. That's the first letter of his second name, and there we have our surname. And it is all capitalized. And that is initials and surname. And then also the same with Robert E. Lee, right? There we also have capitalized Robert. E is capitalized. Lee is capitalized. Or the first letter of Lee is capitalized. And remember when we capitalize someone's name, right? Or initials, and then that is basically a sign of respect. Because if you write someone's name with lower cases, right, somebody will feel like you are not, for example, respecting the name or putting respect on the name. So that is why it's important to, when we capitalize people's names, surnames, as well as initials, it needs to be capitalized when we write it. Because that is also a sign of respect. All right, so so we capitalize names of people, we capitalize names of pets, we capitalize people's initials and surnames, right? And then we also need to capitalize titles of respect, especially if it is used with a name or it is used as a surname. So we need to capitalize a title of respect, and that is if it is used with a name or if it is used as a name. So if you, for example, you carry, let's say, if you carry influence or you have great influence, right? Then they will basically, especially it's like adults, of course. So let's say maybe like the president, right? So the president, we basically, it's like the way we call him president, it's as if we are saying his name. So if we use the word president as a name, then we capitalize it. But if you're just going to say, if we're just going to be talking about the president and you just say it is a president or the president, then it is lower cases. But if you specifically make mention of the president and say, for example, President Nelson Mandela, President Ramaphosa, President Nixon, then we need to capitalize the word president as well as his or her name. So we only capitalize it if it is classified as a proper noun. For example, look at this word, President Nixon. So if you are talking about the president and you're saying President Nixon made a great speech, then you write president with a capital letter, Nixon with a capital letter. The same with Dr. Chen, right? You're going for a checkup, you're going to the doctor, right? And you're going to see Dr. Chen specifically. Then Dr., it's even abbreviated, but Doctor is capitalized and his name is capitalized. But if you are just going to say, if you're going to talk, if you're going to generalize, right? And just say, if you're going to say something about a president, the doctor, a doctor, generalizing, then it is lower cases, as we can see, lower cases. So we also capitalize the title of a family member if it is used with a name or as a name. So do not capitalize the title of a family member if it is used as a common noun. So if you're just going to say, my mother and uncle went to work, right? Then that must be lower cases. It's not capitalized. But if you are specifically talking to Uncle Dave, you're calling Uncle Dave, you're using uncle as a name, then you can capitalize and say Uncle Dave, capitalize. Or mommy, capitalize. So far we capitalize the names of people, we capitalize names of pets, we capitalize titles of respect, and we also capitalize the titles of a family member if it is used with a name or if it is used as a name. And then we also capitalize days of the week, months of the year, as well as special holidays. So we capitalize days of the week, we capitalize months of the year, and we capitalize holidays, which includes words like day, like Christmas Day, New Year's Eve. So months of the year, right? For example, January, February, and as you can see, we capitalize the first letter of the month of the year. We also capitalize the days of the week, like you have Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on and so on. And we capitalize the first letter of that word. And then we have New Year's Eve. We capitalize because that is a special holiday. Christmas, we capitalize it. Easter, we capitalize, right? So we basically capitalize the names of the months, days of the week, as well as holidays. And do not forget to also capitalize the words like day and eve when we capitalize the holidays. All right, so now we're going on to aplusstudents.ca. And we're going into the first lesson where we are capitalizing names of people, pets, and titles of respect. All right. And we already made a few examples, already spoke, or we went over when to capitalize people's names of people, names of pets. We capitalize people's initials and surname. We capitalize titles of respect, for example, President Nixon, Dr. Chen. And we also capitalize, for example, names of family members if it is used as a name. All right, so now we're going on to our test, right? Where we are capitalizing the names of people, pets, titles of respect. All right, so we need to click the correct capitalization if needed. So if needed, right? So if the sentence is already correct, then we don't make any changes. For example, have you read any books by H.G. Wells? H.G. Wells. We need to select the correct capitalization. Is it H.G. Wells, the first one, or the second option, which is H.G. Wells? All right, then if we choose the correct capitalization, we're going to choose the second option, which is HG, that is his initials, as well as the surname, which is Wells. And the only thing we capitalize is the first letter of the surname. We don't capitalize everything like the first option. So the second option, and that is correct. So well done. I have liked T.S. Eliot since I read a collection of his poetry. So I have liked T.S. Eliot since I read a collection of his poetry. So is it the first one, which is T.S. Eliot, or the second option, which is T.S. Eliot, and everything is capitalized? And if we choose the correct initial and surname, and then we're going to choose the first option, which is T capitalized, S capitalized, and only the first letter of the surname, which is Elliot, we capitalize. And well done. That one is correct. The old baseball card was a gift from Uncle Ross. So the old baseball card was a gift from Uncle Ross. Is it the first option, which is Uncle Ross, capital letter for Uncle, or capital letter R for Ross, or is it the second option? All right, then if we choose the correct word or the correct answer, we will choose the first option, which is capital letter for uncle, capital letter for Ross. And that is correct. So well done. Uncle Ross, capitalized is correct. And have you met my new cat, Sparky? Have you met my new cat, Sparky? So the name of the pet, is it Sparky in lower cases or Sparky capitalized? All right. So if we choose the name of our pet and we said that the names of a pet needs to be capitalized. So Sparky capitalized is correct. So well done. Sparky capitalized is correct. Because you said names of people as well as pets needs to be capitalized. And then I saw an old movie with a funny actor named W.C. Fields. W.C. Fields. So W.C. Fields, is it the first option or do we write it like the second option? And if we were to choose the correct initials as well as surnames, and then we will choose the second option, which is capitalize W, capitalize C, and capitalize the first word of that sentence, of the surname, the first letter of the surname. So well done. The second option is correct. So well done. All right, so now we're going to capitalize days, months, and holidays. So now we're going to capitalize days, months, and holidays. So we said that your days of the week, Monday to Sunday, needs to be capitalized. Months of the year needs to be capitalized when we are writing it January to December, as well as holidays, right? So also when we capitalize holidays, for example, then we can also include the word like day and we include the word eve when it comes to capitalizing, let's say, the names of holidays. So even if it's, for example, if I were to ask you to write down today's, let's say the week, the day of the week of today. So if we write the day, today's day of the week, and then today's day of the week is Wednesday. And then if you also write your, let's say your month of your birthday, let's write down the month of our birthday. And remember, don't forget to add the capitalization. Like my month of my birthday is January. And as you can see, I wrote J in capital letters, like in a capital letter. Right? And then we made mention of certain holidays, and we made mention of Christmas Day, New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve, and so on. And we said if we write down the holiday, we said we can write down either Christmas Day, don't forget that, either New Year's Day, or we can say New Year's Eve, but both is capitalized. All right, so now we're going to go on to our test. So now we need to click the correct capitalization if needed. If the sentence is already correct, then don't make any changes. We spent all of May preparing for my graduation party. So we spent all of May preparing for my graduation party. And if we choose the correct one, we can choose the second option, which is capitalize May. So well done, May is correct. Did you remember to buy a Mother's Day card? Is it option 1 with lower cases or option 2 with capitalization? So we said Mother's Day because that is also a special day, right? A new toy factory opened here in March. March. Is it the first option where everything is lowercase? Or is it the second option where we capitalize March? So for like lowercase March or capitalized March. And we are going to capitalize March, right? Because March is a month of the year. Yes, well done. And then grandma always marches in our town's Veterans Day parade. So Veterans Day, is it the first option where it is lower cases for Veterans capitalized day, or do we capitalize Veterans Day? And correct, even Father's Day needs to be capitalized. All right, and we're going to choose Veterans Day because it is a special holiday. All right, so we capitalize names of places as well as geographical features, right? So names of places, of course, it is either where you live, it is buildings, it is your country, your city, right? Those are all names of places. So when it comes to capitalizing names of places, right? So we need to capitalize even if they ask you what city you live in. You need to capitalize the name of your city, the name of your country, the name of your continent. These are all of the things that need to be capitalized. And we capitalize, like we say, cities, states, countries, and continents. And there we have a few examples. London, capitalize North Dakota, Mexico, Africa. Then also places built by people such as buildings, bridges, streets, and monuments, right? All of the important things we need to capitalize. So, for example, places that is built by others, right? By other people, even in a school. So, even a school, then we can, for example, say Linden High School. Golden Gate Bridge is capitalized. Washington Monument is capitalized. And then geographical features like the Nile River and Mount Everest, right? Nile River as well as Mount Everest is one of the important rivers as well as mountain. All right. So we basically capitalize names of places, right? Which is your cities, your countries, your continent, names of geographical features, places that is built by people such as schools, buildings, bridges, streets, monuments, rivers, mountains like your Nile River, Mount Everest, and so on. All right, so now we're going on to our test where we're going to click the correct capitalization if needed. And if the sentence is already correct, then don't make any changes. So the Fraternity Bridge celebrates the friendship between Brazil and Argentina. Fraternity Bridge. So Fraternity Bridge. So which means that we are going to choose the correct one. And then we will say Fraternity capitalized bridge. And that one is correct. Julie went to Haverford Mall to buy some of her favorite magazines. And if we capitalize, let's say Haverford Mall, then we're going to choose the second one. All right, let's do one more and then we're going to end the class. Our national government is based in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. Is it the first option or the second option? So Washington, D.C., which is the second option, and that is correct. So well done. All right, so we said we did our chapter on capitalization. And remember, you need to capitalize names of people, places, titles of respect, initials of people, which is the initial as well as the surname. You also need to capitalize days of the week, months of the year, as well as special holidays, including eve as well as day. And then we also capitalize names of places and geographical features like the mountains, the rivers, either the name of our city, country, continent, right? These are all the things that we need to capitalize. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson on capitalization. Thank you very much for joining the class, and I really hope that you are going to have a good day further. Goodbye.